Hey, I just wanted to record a little message to all those essential workers out there, all those people working in fast food or in grocery stores. Okay, the thing is that we can all form a union online. Now, I'm disabled, so, I'm not really part of the workforce. But, I've been thinking about these things for a long time, and with the strikes that are going on right now, I think that people are starting to wake up and realize their value because these corporations, they don't value us. They don't value us as people. They don't value us as workers. They don't value our safety. I mean, the whole reason why I had to go on disability is I'm bipolar, and sometimes that makes it so that I'll stay up for days without sleep. And when that happens to me, I do not feel comfortable driving into work. And so basically, I just would call off sick because I was worried about driving when I was that sleep deprived. And so I could never really hold down a job. And that's what happened to me. Um, you know, I've often felt that if corporations could just see more layers of value than just, say, attendance and other things that really don't have much to do with your ability to perform your job. Um, I've felt what it's like to be devalued and to be told you're worthless, basically. And they the day after my child was born, I was on a job and they fired me for no real reason. And, that wasn't even an attendance thing on my part. That was nothing. And what I'm saying is, I know what a lot of you all have been through in terms of the abuse over the years. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen, Walmart telling people to apply for food stamps because they don't want to pay them enough to be able to provide food for their families. But then they'll go after, the government to get their taxes lowered so there's less money for food. Don't think that we haven't noticed this stuff. Don't think that we haven't seen all the ways that corporations have practically guaranteed that this day would come. You cannot treat people and pay people so little and expect resiliency. You can't expect them to have dedication to a job that's going to risk their life when you won't barely pay them minimum wage. Minimum wage implies that you value us the minimum possible. Let's just be clear about that. If some job is going to tell me that they're going to pay me minimum wage, I'm not going to do that. I've worked enough minimum wage jobs in my life, and I have developed skills over the years. And, I know my value as a person. And some job offering minimum wage just as a policy is just not acceptable to me, Now, I have that luxury that I've been able to get disability because they've looked at everything that's happened in my life and they've seen, thankfully, that I just can't hold down a job. And that's just the truth. And that was one of the hardest things I ever had to admit to myself, was that given the conditions and the terms, there was no place for someone like me. I fell in between the gaps. And, but I never stopped thinking about labor relations. And if you get a chance, read Howard Zinn's book, people's history of the United States. And by the way, I'm also doing this all off the top of my head. I'm not reading a script or anything like that. So if it's a little bit rambly, I do apologize. So yeah, it's time to realize that you have power as a people to negotiate, right? Like nothing happens in this country without the people. The people have the ultimate power. It's undeniable. We just normally use politics to assert that power, but we have other ways of asserting that power that don't involve violence. And in my mind, as long as you're not doing violence, because violence doesn't get us anywhere we want to be at all. You know, the last thing that I would want to see in my country is an escalating cycle of violence. That's what I fear the most. And so that's why I advocate for organized labor, because it's a way for people that have leverage that doesn't involve violence, that just simply says, yes, I will work for you, or no, I will not work for you. Because what you do with your hands, you know, that's intrinsically political and moral, right? Like, and yes, we all have to make that moral calculus of, you know, I need to survive, and therefore I've got to work. Well, I don't think our system should be like that at this point in history. I think if we want to say that we have freedom, that means you should have freedom to do what you really want to do. And I think we could have a system like that. But first and foremost, we got to organize online. We got to get labor organized online, all sorts of labor, right? I don't care if you are a doctor. I don't care if you are a CEO, because that's labor too. And the thing I think most people don't realize is that in many ways you can look at a corporation as a form of artificial intelligence. Okay? It matches all of the definitions, right? At least a working definition of intelligence, which is the ability to respond to environmental stimuli. You know, there's any number of definitions of intelligences, and corporations fit all of those, right? And they are also artificial. They are man-made. It's just people don't see them as artificial intelligences because people work in the artificial intelligence, right? But so do ants. Ants work in an ant colony, and they don't think they're in an ant colony. They're just following what they're told to do because of the way they evolved. But we as a society have also evolved corporations. We created them. They run according to our laws, or at least they're supposed to, right? So we do have some control over them. We just have to realize we have it, and we have to actually exercise that control. Because I think it's pretty clear from everything from climate change to worker rights to, I don't know, the environment to our tax policy. I mean, they are in every part of our society, right? But we think because people run them that they're ultimately controlled by people. But what if they're not? Like, what if they're really, literally, there is some thing, maybe you could call it an intelligence, I don't know, but something that is definitely out of human control, because I think none of us really want what we're in right now. I don't believe that anyone can look at our system as a whole and say, this is what is best, right? You can maybe say, well, this is what we have, and it's better than, say, communism, right? Communism was dumb. You know why it was dumb? Because it thought it could educate greed out of people. That was just stupid, right? The reality is that you can't let greed run wild, right? And you can't educate it out of people, so you gotta, like, moderate it, right? You gotta regulate it. Okay? So, right now, we can use the power of unions of all types and political power that is coming from us being able to organize online like this. And we can change the whole dynamic. We can change the whole political calculus. But it's going to take us organizing, working together online to do so. And I'm just a disabled stay-at-home dad, and I try my best to be productive. But I need all of you to see the power that you already have. You have immense power, and all you got to do is see it and work with others to use it. That's the joy right now. And there is suffering, and there is so much bad going on. But let's let this be a way to bring meaning to that. Because the same things that are making coronavirus so bad are the same things that have made workers' lives so miserable for so long. You know, what if we all could have just taken a month-long vacation, right? As soon as the news of coronavirus hits. What if we had that system in place? What if we had a system of automation where the workers had the ability to produce and to distribute and, you know, to consume collectively, cooperatively, right? There's a way that we can do that. I really believe that. And there are ways that corporations can be amazing, right? Like video games. I'm not arguing for the private or public, you know, we need a video game market, right? That's just, it's not bad, except for maybe loot boxes. Anyway, I'm off topic. Power to the people, and everybody organizing and doing strikes right now. God bless all of you.